one from Salvation Army. Chloe, I've got your presentation here, so if you're unable to share, I can share for you.
Yes, please.
Okie dokie. Okay, over to you, Chloe.
Okay, so good morning. My name's Chloe and I'm from Booth House, which is a Salvation Army homeless hostel in town. So we are a resettlement centre that supports 50 residents aged over the age of 18 and are men or women experiencing homelessness. We aim to create an environment here which, you know, is safe, respected, and lets our residents feel empowered to allow them to start the rebuilding of their life. So we've got communal cooking facilities on each landing. So each landing is based on 5 people, and they've all got a shared living area. We've got a shared laundry room, and we've also got an internal cafe which we can do social activities on, and a big screen for like sporting events. And then most of you will probably know us for our social enterprises, which is Recycles, our bike shop on Princess Street, and the Sandwich People, which is our buffet and catering service, which is internal here as well. So if we go on to the next slide. So our programs here, we offer an extensive range of training throughout the centre. So not just for those who are getting involved in social enterprise, but across the board. Our most popular ones are first aid, tenancy support, so helping our residents learn how to budget, how to understand their tenancy agreements and to kind of maintain their tenancy when they move out. Cooking, we'll give them a range of cooking skills. We also move them on with cooking equipment such as kettles, toasters, pots and pans, plates, and then relationship and life skills, which a lot of that is learned through kind of the Sandwich People and Recycles, and it just helps them build up those experiences and those skills again to move on with. Pre-COVID, we did a lot of film nights. On a Saturday night, we would run film nights. We do arts and crafts and wellbeing sessions. We've taken our residents on fishing trips, and we've taken them out to football tournaments. We have an external garden, which we've done so much work with through COVID, and it is up to the residents then to maintain it. So they will plant all sorts of flowers out there, vegetables, fruits. They paint out there, and they keep it kind of homely for them all. And then one of our support workers also teaches guitar lessons. So there's a range of things that kind of go on within the centre here. If we can go on to the next slide. So Recycles and the Sandwich People. So we have been around for more than 10 years now. I think the Sandwich People has been around for about 13 years, and Recycles will be 12 years old this year. So we are both social enterprises, and we are here for the residents. We offer them a range of different training. We offer them the opportunity to be a part of the business. So they run the business, and they'll give their ideas. They'll look after the banking, be in charge of petty cash. So we give them lots of responsibilities while they're here, and help them kind of grow within themselves again. So over the last 10 years, 53% of those that have been with us have completed at least one training course. 30% have gone on to move into their own tenancy and maintain that. 17% of our volunteers have gained long-term employment. 15% have gone into long-term education. So that could be apprenticeships, it could be going back to college. And then 5% of those have been re-employed with Booth House. So we actually have 4 members at the moment that work for us that have previously been residents in here. So social enterprise has a huge impact, not just for, you know, what we offer, but how it makes them feel. So I've got some quotes on the next slide that I'd like to share with you, which are recent quotes from our guys. So as you can see, these are just the top 4 that have kind of jumped out at me. So social enterprise has given my life back. It's given them, you know, it's the opportunity to get their life back on track. It's you know, changed their life. They're still loving every single day, which is a huge mental health factor, and giving them the sense of purpose to be here and to be a part of a team. Teaching them, you know, what you put into life is what you get back out, which I feel is a great lesson. And it's given the confidence back, which again is huge. Like I say, we offer our residents the opportunity to almost run the business. So they will be in charge of banking if they feel comfortable to. They will be the the face of Recycles or the sandwich people, and they run it as their business, so they take such pride and enjoyment out of seeing customers coming in and the satisfaction from our customers. If we could go on to the next slide. So during the pandemic, for most people, COVID was really hard, and it was hard for us. We did have some amazing outcomes. So Recycles donated over 100 bikes to NHS workers for free to allow them to keep moving safely to work without having to use public transport. Recycles also sold over 100 bikes between, I think it was £20 and £40 to key workers, so carers, any key workers that were working through the first lockdown, again, to stop them having to use public transport and stop that risk. The sandwich people got involved in supporting Asda, and we done over 1,000 sandwiches in 1 week to keep their staff fully fed while the kind of panic shopping was happening, and they were unable to kind of use their own canteen. We were acknowledged by the House of Commons for our work in the community, which just was absolutely fantastic. We display our certificate and letter with pride. And then we raised more than £3,000 for local charities, including Brighter Futures at the Great Western Hospital, Prospect, and we've done some fundraising for Macmillan as well. If we could go on to the next slide. Some of our positive outcomes in 2020, 50% of our volunteers walked away with Food Safety Level 2, which is an accredited training course. 25% of our volunteers walked away with Food Safety Level 3, which is supervisor level. So both fantastic qualifications to be able to go into any other kind of catering industry, catering job within Swindon and Wiltshire. 4 of our clients achieved OCN qualifications in cake decorating and cooking level 1, which was amazing, as we only started doing cakes, bakes and sweet treats last year as a kind of backup from our buffet, which we lost quite a bit of business from the buffets. So be able to offer our clients the opportunity to not only make cakes but decorate them and then get a qualification was amazing. And then 70% of our volunteers moved on into independent living in 2020 and are still maintaining that independent living. And the volunteers transferred our internal cafe to a community cafe, where they went and bought the stock themselves. They set up spreadsheets themselves and pricing, and then they opened it every single day to allow residents and staff to stay in the centre and get all of their daily essentials, from lunch, tea and coffee, any toiletries, and allowed the movement in the centre to dramatically reduce to stop the spread. It was absolutely fantastic, and for the first 3 or 4 months we used it to raise money for Brighter Futures, and then we transformed that idea into an internal cafe, which will now continue to run as a community cafe for Booth House. If we can go on to the next slide. So what's next for us? So more training opportunities. As I've mentioned, we love to do training here at Booth House, and we love to offer our residents so many different options. So we're going to look at what we can do next. We're going to look at opening up for external volunteers. So we've had external volunteers come through before, and we really want to grow our connections within Swindon to allow more people come in and get the opportunities to get the qualifications that we can offer. We're going back to work scheme with Recycles. So we'll be looking to work with some local businesses on getting bikes to those who are currently unemployed, and get them wheels back to work, basically. So that will be launching at some point this year. And then the sandwich people will look to grow their business again. Obviously, losing the buffet part has been a huge hit for the sandwich people. So if we can continue to grow our business again, this allows more opportunity for residents to come in and engage, learn some life lessons. So that's kind of it. So a short and sweet. I've probably gone through that far too quickly, but I hope that covers everything.
Perfect timing. Thank you very much for that great presentation. So much there. So yeah, we can have a couple of questions. So Melanie, is that your hand gone up, a new one, or is that from a previous question?
Yeah, no, that's my hand gone up again. I'm sorry. I'm taking all this in. I'm very, first of all, I want to say good luck with restarting the sandwich people again, because we had a donation from them and it was fantastic. So I'm waiting for you to up and running again, and I'll be ordering again.
Fab. We're up and running now, so feel free to come to our Facebook page and order.
No problem at all. And I've also black cakes, bakes and sweet treats. Even if we don't have the full buffet yet, we might look at treating all our volunteers that way. Can I ask you a question? How long do people usually stay at Booth House?
It can range from anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. So most of our residents will stay around about 18 months, and that allows them to get everything they need, their universal credits sorted, build up relationships with Turning Point if they need to, building up relationships with SPC and getting them onto the bidding list. So I think the quickest turnaround is 6 months, depending on the circumstances, and the longest will be 2 years, depending on their circumstances.
Okay, and the other thing I just wanted to ask is am I correct in understanding it's only single people at Booth House? Is that correct, or have I misunderstood?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, we don't take like couples or families or anything like that. It's only singles. Okay,
and then the other thing I was just going to ask is, do you offer if they're unemployed or something, not unemployed, if they're like homeless or something, do you have like an emergency package for them when they manage to get a place?
We so if they are homeless and they come to us, we've got 5 emergency rooms that are for 3 nights, and that allows us and Swindon Borough Council time to assess them and see what's the best course for them, so they can access our emergency unit for 3 nights. If we've then got room, we'll move them upstairs and start to work with them, or if SBC think there is somewhere better for them or different that they need, then they'll be moved on somewhere depending on what Swindon Borough Council feel were better for them at the time.
Okay, that's brilliant. I was just thinking, like, maybe we could offer some clothing and stuff that, some of them just need something to make them feel a bit smarter and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Was probably something we can definitely work with.
Okay, that's brilliant. No, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Caroline's hand went up and down. Caroline, is your question?
It was really just something Melanie's kind of already asked, and it was around the 3-night stay, really, because I obviously work on duty in the adult community team, so we refer on to a Booth House. So yeah, that's been clarified already. But yeah, just what a great job you all do, seriously. And I wasn't aware that quite so much actually goes on in Booth House. From our point of view, we refer people who are in dire situations there, and it ends after the our involvement generally ends after the 3-day period, unless they come back to us, and obviously we work with housing as well. But yeah, you do a fantastic job at, not just at the Booth House, but all the charity shops that the Salvation Army run, and yeah, just brilliant, really. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you again, Chloe.